What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at the newest season of Doctor Who, called Season 1 on BBC iPlayer, called Season 14 on Google, called every other thing under the sun, but it is the newest Doctor, and I do believe he is the 14th Doctor, and his sidekick is Ruby Rose, and we're going to get into it. So without any further delay, I think we should get into what Google has to say about this newest season of Doctor Who before I get into what I actually feel like this new season of Doctor Who has to offer, because I am absolutely hyped. I thoroughly enjoyed this season. It has 8 episodes, all roughly 50 minutes each, so you can easily watch it all in one day. It's roughly 8 hours long, and it's super chill and easy. So, after escaping from the Maestro, the Doctor takes Ruby to her present, discovering the world is a nuclear winter. Maestro appears, revealing themselves as a child of the Toymaker with similar powers around music that can take control of the TARDIS, forcing the Doctor to return to the 1963. Now, that is not the overview of the entire season, but that's just of one episode. So I'm going to quickly run through the story from where we left off of the church on Ruby Road. So with episode 1, the Space Babies, the Doctor lands on this space station run by babies, and they have to fight the Bogeyman. Pretty standard stuff. It's Ruby's first adventure, and it's getting her used to like how the Doctor works. Number 2 is the Devil's Cord. We have just read what that one's about, so I'm going to quickly skip over it to number 3, which is the Boom, where the Doctor stands in one place and basically stands on a mine, and Ruby gets shot, and it's a fake war. They're fighting nothing, and I thought it was predictable as fuck. It was pretty basic. No one actually did much in that season, in that episode. I thought that one was the worst one of the bunch. Then we have number 4, which is 73 yards. The Doctor has gone, and it's all about Ruby. We see her life as she's being followed by a woman who stays exactly 73 yards away, and it turns out that that woman is actually an older version of Ruby, which is warning her not to step onto that sort of fairy circle, and it actually helps out in the end. Number 5 is Dot and Bubble, which is where the Doctor goes to a planet of rich, popular kids, and basically stops them being eaten, and they all refuse his help, and he gets quite annoyed with them not being able to help, with him not being able to help, because that's what the Doctor does. The Doctor provides life. The Doctor is life, ready to fight death, and he's trying to protect everybody. And when they don't want his help, he gets a little bit annoyed, but they proceed to leave because they do have free will, and they go to a party in 1813, basically doing Bridgerton. That's all they go on about. They just repeat Bridgerton and stop these owl people from cosplaying and doing Bridgerton, and basically save the world from owl people. And they almost kill Ruby. The Doctor gets a love interest, and unfortunately that love interest is sent to another dimension. Then we have the Legend of Ruby Sunday, where the Doctor goes to Unit to investigate Ruby's birth, and they unleash an ancient evil of the big dog demon, which is the god of death, very similar to He Who Waits, because he is the one who waits. He is the god of death. He waits for you to die. He waits. And then we get a little bit more information on Ruby's mum as well, which leads into number 8, and basically the god of death kills everything and everyone, barring Ruby, the Doctor, and Mary. And Mary ends up becoming a person ready to kill, ready to worship the devil, or ready to worship death, and Ruby finds out who her mother is, which is just a fucking average person. And then Ruby leaves the Doctor to go with her mother and meet her father, who doesn't actually know she exists. And that's where the season ends, with the Doctor getting ready to go on another journey without Ruby. And I'm going to be honest, I absolutely fucking adored this season. I absolutely loved Ruby as a side character. I thought she was a brilliant sidekick. The sidekick-centric episodes are always the fucking best. It was a little confusing, but I really did enjoy it. I like getting to see Ruby shine away from the Doctor. I thought that was really cool. I'm just a little upset that she's going already, because it has been confirmed that she is not going to be in season 2 as the side character, but she is going to be in it a little bit. I think she's going to be in the first episode just as like a recap to say goodbye, and then she's going to disappear. But I think that's really upsetting. She only made it one season, and I feel like the mystery around her mother could have been done a little bit better instead of just saying, "Oh, we gave her power, we gave her value when she was just an average person." I think that's boring as shit. I think that was a really shitty sort of answer to the story. We waited all that, and it was hyped up for the entire season, throughout the entire special of the Christmas special, just for it to be fuck all, just for it to be nothing. It ended up being nothing. And I feel like that's where the season sort of went really bad. Because 73 Yards didn't have the Doctor, and Dot and Bubble had the Doctor and Ruby very little. So I feel like those two episodes, again, were very lackluster, having no Doctor and having very little to do with Ruby, especially in Dot and Bubble. But I do really like the story, and it did actually feel like Doctor Who. We had the Doctor being really good and being very similar to the other Doctors, having that excitement, that energy that all the others brought, but doing it in his own special way, which I do like. I like how he took his own style to the Doctor and brought his own sort of unique charm to the Doctor. And I can't wait to see him continue that throughout his next couple of seasons, because he does say in one of the episodes that he is going to be keeping this face for a very long time. So I assume he's been signed on to do quite a few seasons of Doctor Who. And I am ready. I am hyped. I genuinely cannot wait to see how much we see of him, because he's a good Doctor. Unfortunately, we are missing Ruby, and it sucks because I did just make a Lego Bricks and Pieces order to have a Lego custom Ruby, even though she's leaving, which is a little unfortunate. I really like the War one, the Boom one, because it had such a good sort of twist with them not actually fighting anybody. I saw that twist straight away. But I still thought it was really cool how they were doing it and how the Doctor showed the people who were fighting the war that they were actually fighting no one. I knew they were fighting no one as soon as they brought up like they're in the mist. It's like, you're fighting no one. You're being tricked into this shit. There's no one out there. You are fighting yourself. And I thought it was just a really interesting concept, and I thought it was really cool. Episode 5, Dot and Bubble, did feel like a very Black Mirror-y episode, and I didn't really like that one because, again, it had a very lack of Doctor and Ruby. It just kind of felt like we were going to meet new characters, which don't really do much. We spent all this time with these new characters on this new planet for them to not show up again throughout the rest of the season, and I don't think they will ever show up again. So I am kind of upset that we spent that much time with them, and it was for nothing, really. Like, it was just for a one-off episode. But I do feel like that Black Mirror episode is really important, because that bubble in front of my face would have pissed me off. I would have hated to have, be on that planet. I would hate to use that bubble. It looks so shit. And it would be annoying as fuck. I can't talk to like 8 people at once. I am the quiet one of the friend group. I would not be able to sit there and yap to 8 people at once. Like, I tend to like, I get louder the less people they are. Right? I can't talk in big groups. I hate big groups. I feel like I'm getting in the way. I'm talking over someone. So I tend to just stay quiet in bigger groups. So that bubble is not for me. Fuck the bubble. I really didn't like the Bridgerton episode as well. I don't like Bridgerton, so I didn't like all the references to Bridgerton. I didn't understand them. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't get the Bridgerton references, but I did think it was a really nice twist, although I did see through it. I've just watched too many movies. I'm going to be honest. I've watched too many movies, too many TV shows to sort of look past all these twists, because I knew it was Ruby. I knew that Ruby would survive. I knew that it wasn't going to be that bird girl. And when Ruby was trapped, I thought it was really cool, and it put Doctor in this really good predicament, and the pure emotion that he had was so fucking cool. The acting in this was brilliant, and the CGI was also really nice. The intro sequence is, again, so fucking beautiful. I love all the shapes and colors, and it's such a big upgrade from the past Doctor Who intros. Again, we have the iconic sound that like, it's so fucking iconic. I don't get why, but it's like going back to episode 2 with like the iconic sounds, the iconic sort of notes, and the Devil's Chord. I thought it's really interesting that we can pick up on like Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, just from hearing the first couple of notes. It is one of those iconic sounds which is just linked to Doctor Who. It is just such an iconic theme, and it doesn't need to have words. It doesn't need to be a pure song. Just the pure sound of it. It's so nostalgic to me and so cool and so I love it. I love it. And I am going to go back and watching the other series of Doctor Who and doing reviews on those. So do stay tuned for those over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be watching all of the Doctor Who's because I did actually stop watching at the Capaldi the Capaldi one. That's when I stopped watching Doctor Who, and I've literally just started watching it again. So I am going to be taking a look at Matt Reeves is Doctor Who, and maybe David Tennant's as well, and then I'll be going through and watching the Capaldi one, and then the one that comes after as well, and just seeing how it is, just reviewing those as well, because I'm getting back into Doctor Who, so we need it here. Doctor Who is so fucking cool. It's a huge part of my childhood. I fucking love it. But the Week of the Angels are fucking terrifying, and I'm so glad that there wasn't in this season. I am so hyped that Doctor Who's back, and it's got the Disney Plus budget as well because this was helped be paid for by Disney Plus. It's also on Disney Plus, and you can watch it earlier on Disney Plus because it's available at 7 a.m. in the morning on Disney Plus, but it is on at 7 o'clock at night here in the UK. That's when Doctor Who has always been on, and that's when it will always will be on. So if you want to watch it earlier, you can go on Disney Plus, but it will be on at normal time here in the UK. But other than that, this season was a pure 10 out of 10. It was so good, and it did have its flaws, but I can look past it. Honestly, it's still solid Doctor Who, and the flaws aren't really that flaws. They're more like nitpicks. I will be honest. It's a 10 out of 10, and I recommend you go watch it for yourself. It it is so nostalgic and so cool to see the Doctor back. And I don't know who this season was for because there's a load of references back to like the older Doctor Who's, and not to be like stereotypical, but old people are normally set in their ways. So with all like the new stuff, I don't get who this season was for other than myself because it was an absolute fucking banger. Certified banger. Certified classic. Go fucking watch it right now.